clicker? That's the slide, but where's the clicker? Great, thanks. What's the next big thing? What's the next billion-dollar startup? If you think it'll be something in big data, artificial intelligence, or the Internet of Things, you just might be wrong. How do I know this? Because right here today in this room, there's at least one person that has the idea, the team, and the energy to build the next billion-dollar company. And when that happens, we're all going to be surprised because it won't be something we expected. It never is. But no matter how great the idea, how experienced the team, or how much money can be raised, it all comes down to how you start, run, and exit your company. If you can't start, run, and exit smoothly, you'll never hit the billion-dollar mark. In fact, you might not even hit the $1 mark. What would you say if I told you it all comes down to one simple concept, one thing you need to know? My name is Vic Schiller. I'm from R-Cube Group, that's my company. And that URL there, if you're taking notes, write down that URL, because everything I'm going to say today is at that URL. And you might think we're just talking about startups, but how many people here are trying to maybe start businesses inside other larger businesses, intrapreneurs they're called? How many people are here like that today? All this counts for that too. So one simple concept, what could it be? Find your fatal flaws and fix them. Makes sense, right? Well, what's a fatal flaw, first of all? Okay, so when the dam breaks, probably was a fatal flaw. When the building falls down, probably was a fatal flaw. When the bridge collapses, probably was a fatal flaw. Could this be one of these startup founders running from the bridge? I don't know. So first thing, just to define a fatal flaw, it's business killing or crippling. Usually something you just don't want to face right now. So some of you startup founders might be sitting here today thinking, whoa, I don't have any fatal flaws. Well, guess what? It's probably something you don't want to face right now. Sometimes everyone else sees it, but you don't. So it could be that thing that everybody's saying, you know, you need to take care of that. And you just don't want to take care of it yet. Here's the key one too. It makes your business uninvestable. It's radioactive to investors. So if you've been pitching your company to investors and they're kind of not writing checks, you may have a fatal flaw. But the right questions, thoughtfully answered by you, can identify the fatal flaw. But here's the bad news. Once you fix your fatal flaw, there's usually another one that pops up. Find your fatal flaws and fix them. So what questions can help identify the fatal flaws? This is the reason I gave you the URLs, because these are going to be important questions you're going to want to ask yourself every day. Well, I broke them up into the three sections: the start, running, and the exit from your company. And first, let's talk about the start phase. Does the team have a clear leader? Okay, this is really, really important. You may want to, be great friends with all your fellow founders and call it a collaborative effort. But if you don't have a leader, if you don't have one person to make the hard decisions and to own things, it's not going to work. Does the team work well together? What's the history? My favorite thing is, you see this group of founders and they're very excited about this idea, but they just met 2 weeks ago in some co-working space. Not going to work, because there's going to be a bad day, and all of a sudden, as quickly as they got together, it'll disintegrate. I love seeing founding groups that have been together since they were 12 years old. They met on the soccer field, and so they're going to be able to get through those hard times a lot better. Is the mentor matched to prospective business? Somebody up here earlier today talked about mentors and how important they are. Well, if you're doing a big data, artificial intelligence dating app, and your mentor is is from agriculture and knows really a lot about raising raspberries, they probably aren't going to be able to help you. So you need to really have a mentor that's matched to your business and what you want to accomplish. Does the pitch excite, interest, and motivate people? It was great. I saw there was a pitching session here, and we're going to see some pitches. You got to get your business into 5 to 10 words, okay? 5 are better than 10. Bulgaria, I'll give you 10 because I know it's a longer language. But when you pitch your business, their eyes aren't getting wide, they're not starting to pant, and they're not pulling out their checkbooks. That's a hint, okay, that you maybe need to improve your pitch. And the other thing you use your pitch for is to recruit employees, to recruit people to come and work for you. So if you have a bad pitch, that might be the reason you have a bunch of empty desks too. Is the team ready to pivot when needed? So many times I see teams that have a great idea and it's a technology-based idea and they think it's the coolest thing and they get 3 months into it and the customers just are telling them it's not the right idea. You gotta pivot, okay? If you haven't pivoted at least once or twice, you might be missing the market. Does a prospective business have a clear moat? Okay, so you ask a startup guy to, pitch his business. He says, I don't want to tell you, it's a secret because I'm afraid somebody will steal it. That means you don't have a moat. You need a moat. A moat could be something like a trademark, a patent. It could be some proprietary technology. You need a moat. Okay, this is probably the number one thing that I see that makes businesses uninvestable, okay? Because you don't want to put a lot of money into a business, have them bring it out, and then have somebody else knock the product off, and that's it, you have no business. Does the business have a reasonable break-even point? There's this really cool invention called a spreadsheet. Use it, okay? Use it before you start to figure out if you're going to be able to make money. The classic example of this is like a hot dog stand. If you were going to start a hot dog stand, haven't seen one of those pitched lately, but if you're going to have a hot dog stand down here on the corner and you do your break even and you're going to have great seating and lighting and it's going to be fabulous, but I have to sell 10,000 hot dogs a day to break even. That's a lot of hot dogs, okay? And you're probably not going to be able to do it. How many startup founders found businesses where they have to basically sell 10,000 hot dogs a day? That's how much of their product or service they have to move to break even. Work it out on paper first. Work it out on paper, work it out in a spreadsheet, and make sure you have a chance to make money. Does the business have a clear distribution strategy? Okay, I define distribution as the way that you attract customers, deliver your product, and then extract payment from them. Okay, so it's the way you attract customers, deliver your product, and extract payment from them. If you don't clearly know how you're going to be able to do that, then you got to go back to the drawing board. Okay, and if you figure that out and it's going to cost you $10 to attract the customer, and the maximum you're going to get out of them is $2, you're not going to make it up on the volume. Okay, the volume is just going to hurt you. So figure out your distribution. That is the key thing. And are you really a wantrepreneur? Nobody's talked about this today, wantrepreneurs. There's nothing bad about being a wantrepreneur. Don't get me wrong. It's just a wantrepreneur is somebody who wants to be an entrepreneur, but really isn't ready to put in the time. It's 100 hours a week minimum, okay? Big news, 100 hours a week minimum. They don't want to risk every penny they have, and in fact, go out and sell their motorcycle to make the next payroll. Okay, that's somebody who's a wantrepreneur does not want to do that. Okay, that's nothing wrong with that, but you're just not going to have $1 billion business, and you're going to have a hard time attracting employees. Okay, it could be a nice little business, but it's not going to be something other people are going to be able to invest in. So, the run phase. Okay, so your business has been up and running for a while. You've got some employees, and things seem to be running smoothly. Has the team listened to customers and created a needed product? So your customers are going to be telling you every day what they want, whether you want to listen or not. If you listen, you need to change your product. Do you have 5 or less measurable goals guiding everyone in the company? So now you've got more than just you and your founders in the company, and the person who you just hired 4 months ago may not know what they're supposed to be doing. You need to put those 5 goals on a piece of white paper, big paper, and paste it in every single office in your wherever your office is, so everybody sees it every single day and knows what they should be doing. Is the team matched to your goals? Sometimes, as the company grows, the team will, the skill base will not be what you need anymore, and so you need to train those people up or move them on. Is the team working well together? Are you arguing? What's going on? Are critical deadlines being met? Is there real progress? When you make a commitment to do something in January to get it done by March, is it getting done or not? If it isn't, that's a fatal flaw. Have your business assumptions been accurate? You made some assumptions about the market. You've made some assumptions about what people will pay. Have those been accurate? Are revenues and expense estimates accurate? Back to that crazy spreadsheet again. Your budgeting. Look, it's okay if you're off by a little bit, but if you're consistently off, how the heck are you going to run that business if you can't make the numbers work? That's a fatal flaw. Have critical team positions been filled? If you've got empty seats in your office of people that you needed to hire to be able to achieve your goals and build your business, and those seats are empty, that's a fatal flaw. So now I'm going to move to the exit phase. You've been running for a couple years now. Your phone rings, and it's big company is on the phone, and they're telling you how great they think your business is and how great a manager you are, and they want to buy you. Is this good news? I've been through it a few times. It can be good news most of the time. So has the business been set up for a clean, simple, smooth exit from day one? They're going to send in this SWAT team of lawyers and accountants. Impress them by showing them how organized all your legal documents are and all your accounting records are. Impress them that way. Don't try to cram and do it the night before. You're not going to be able to do it the night before. Do it from day one. Are you negotiating from a position of weakness? Things that can make you weaker is that you'll be out of money in 3 months, okay? And you won't be able to make payroll. That's weakness. You need to plan ahead and maybe get some more money from your investors or start trying to get acquired earlier. Have you maximized your value yet? Are you just a few months away from closing a big customer? Are you a few months away from delivering a big new phase of your product? That could double the value of your company. Don't sell now. Wait. You haven't maximized your value yet. Does the buyer see your true value? You have to figure out why that buyer wants to buy you. Is there some little piece of code you have that's going to be able to plug into their business and make them $100 million next week? Do they want one of your key employees? Do they just want to take you out of the market because you're a competitor? Knowing this is going to help you set the value of your company. So you need to know that. Are you ready to walk away if the deal is not right? Okay, so there's these phases. Anybody here been acquired, had their businesses acquired? Okay, nobody. So what happens is they romance you like you've never been romanced before. Anything you want, they'll give you. Oh, they love you. And then you sit down to look at the deal. You sit down to look at the contract. And there's all this stuff in here that they never told you about. You have to be able to take a red pen and cross that stuff out and be brave enough to walk away if it's not right. Are you really ready to exit the business? This is you and your fellow founders. You have to decide, hey, am I ready to walk away? And because what happens is the moment you sign that paper, you're not the boss anymore. It's not your business. Somebody else is calling the shots. If you aren't ready for that, then you got to think about it. If one of your founders, your fellow founders, is not ready for that, you would be surprised at the last minute mayhem that could come up if one of your fellow founders aren't ready to exit yet. So that's a fatal flaw. So find your fatal flaws and fix them. And fix them now. Don't wait. And so there's my favorite picture of a bridge. What's that got to do with startups? Well, your business is like a bridge, okay? It can be strong, it can be sturdy, it can do everything you need it to do. But if there's a fatal flaw in it, it will collapse. So, and there's the URL again. Thank you. It was great.